It's easy work boxing, about to hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. This is a video for the Cruiserweight Undisputed titles. This is going to be on the line between Olesksandr Usyk and Murat Gassiev. I've been looking up these guys. I told y'all I was going to give y'all a video, on fight prediction on who's going to win, and a little more fight talk about these two guys. All right, Olesksandr Usyk, he has the WBC and WBO titles. Murat Gassiev, he has the WBA and the IBF, and this is for the Muhammad Ali trophy. All right, Olesksandr has 14 victories, 11 KOs. He's also a southpaw. This guy stands at 6'3", 2 inches below me. I'm 6'5", 78-inch reach. All right, he has fought some decent opponents. I went on this box rec. He done fought opponents with mostly more wins than losses for him to only have 14 fights. He's a bronze medalist in the Olympics. This guy's a good counterpuncher. Good defense, protects himself well in his high guard. He's a slick counterpuncher too. Especially with him being a southpaw, I think he's going to cause a lot of difficulties for Murat. I haven't really seen Murat go against any really southpaw fighters. I've been trying to look and find down on Boxing Rec. I haven't really seen him fight any southpaws. So, that may be an advantage for Olesksandr Usyk. All right, now, his straight left is very powerful, Olesksandr. He also, he uses his jab also to blind his opponents. That's something he doesn't really throw it to hurt his opponent. He mostly throws it, just to blind and to throw that left hand in, like Olesksandr, like most left-handed fighters I see. Tank is a fighter who I don't really see do that as a southpaw. Tank really throws his jab out there with intentions to hit you, and hurt you with it. And he comes back with the left. All right, Usyk, he comes forward, makes you fight with the way he comes forward. Matter of fact, both of these guys come forward, which is something you're going to have to look at when this fight begins in the first round. I got a feeling that whoever is the one that backs up the most is going to be the loser of this fight, because both of these guys come forward. All right. Also, with Olesksandr Usyk, by him being a southpaw, most southpaws don't do this one thing, and that's throw a right hook. I don't know why. I watched Zab Judah. I've seen Olesksandr. They will not throw that right hook, and that keeps the opponent off them if they're orthodox. And that's something I've seen Floyd Mayweather love to do when he fights southpaws. He really tests southpaws by fake coming in to see if they're going to throw that right hook. And that was one of the ways he defeated Zab Judah, was that Zab would not throw a right hook while Floyd was trying to come in, because Floyd constantly kept stepping in on Zab Judah. Matter of fact, that was the way he ended up beating Zab Judah. All right. Like I say, he's not really a good jabber. He uses his jab to blind his opponents and use it to create distance or know where his opponent's punches if they're close enough to hit him. He can hurt you with either hand, and plus Olesksandr has good timing. Olesksandr, he's I wouldn't say he's a good guy that cuts off the ring well, but he'll come to you in whatever position you at in the ring. And I've seen Murat do. Murat does it great. It's like he's a smaller fighter in the ring, and one thing I like about Murat, he's a patient fighter. I have to say this about Murat. His competition level, I've seen most of his opponents have had more losses than wins. So even though he has more wins, he's 26-0, 19 knockouts. But, that may be a factor in there too, what I'm saying, by him fighting people that's, really mediocre fighters, not really having that many wins, Basically, it looked like a lot of journeymen. I think he only fought one fighter that was like undefeated, and he was like 14-0. the guy who gave him the most difficulty is the guy he got the I think the IBF strap from. I don't know his name. I can't pronounce it. I think it's like a Ukrainian name or something like that. But that was the guy he hit with a left to the body and dropped him. Ended up going 12 rounds. But that was the only guy who really, showed him any any problems in the fight. Now, Murat, he walks his opponents down well. I just said that. But one thing about Murat and his defense, he has no head movement to me. His offense, like I said, in most fights is his defense. He attacks his opponent. He always tries to be first. Even if they both throwing punches at each other, he still doesn't really put himself in any high guard or any type of guard to defend himself from his opponents. And also, Abel Sanchez is his trainer. So I know he has a little pedigree about coming forward because that's what he loves to do. And like I said, both of the guys love to come forward. So we're going to see whoever steps back the most in this fight will not win this fight. And I think that Olesksandr Usyk, I don't know how to say his name, Usyk, or I guess that's how you say his name. The way for him to beat Murat is that he will have to throw punches and sidestep and move to the side against Murat. He will not win trying to box against Murat because Murat always come forward and he always throws first. That's like I said, that's his defense. His offense is his defense. He basically throws multiple punches to stop you from throwing anything. But Murat, he really doesn't really throw a jab. He can though. He's a good jabber. I'm not saying he's not a good jabber for anybody to watch. He is a good jabber, but he tries to hit you to the body and to the head. You know what I'm saying? He mostly throws hooks, which are powerful. At first I only thought he had the right hand that was powerful. But then I see him duck under a dude's shot. He throw a right and caught a dude with a left real quick and dropped him. You know what I'm saying? And knocked him flat out. You know what I'm saying? So I had to come back and, put that in my notes that this guy, not only got the right hand that's powerful, but he got the left hand that's powerful too. I already say he's a patient fighter. He doesn't really come out there trying to throw his load out, throw that many punches. He's very patient. He just sits and he waits. And one thing about him I like is that he knows how to hurt you and he knows exactly when he hurts you. This fight will really be about the heart of both opponents because both of these guys are two good fighters. And they both have the same styles except for the fact that Murat really don't come out there as hard as Olesksandr. Murat basically just takes his time with his opponent. He tries to break him down. He sees certain shots that he hurts you with during the fight and he continues to throw that certain shot. But for Murat, like I'm saying that I haven't seen him fighting the southpaws, especially a southpaw that's on the level of Olesksandr Usyk. So him going against a guy like this may be, a big problem for him in that ring, because like I said, I looked on Boxing Ray, I didn't see like one southpaw fighter that he was going up against, and by the level of competition that Murat has is, by the guys he has, they have a lot of losses, man. And I think the guy who he really fought that had the most wins, he was like 53-3. And true enough, he beat him too. You know what I'm saying? But you have to look at all that and line all that up, But I do give Murat the experience, even though you could say those are journeymen, but still being in the ring and fighting different styles and different people, it helps you to become the champion that he is now, which, both of these guys are champion. It's very surprising to me that Olesksandr Usyk, even at 14 fights, right now has 2 belts, That's why I like the tournaments because you get to narrow out the journeyman and you get the champions up front, you know what I'm saying? So this guy probably wouldn't have had both of those belts until later on in his career, you know what I'm saying, when he was probably 27-0 or if he was to make it 27-0 or anything like that. But I do have to say this, in the face-off that I seen, and a lot of people, going to probably that just go in one end out the other, but I seen this from Evander Holyfield when he said the second time he fought Mike Tyson, he said when he got in the ring, the first thing he did was look at Mike Tyson's face, and he said he knew automatically he was going to beat him. Now, in the face-off between Olesksandr and Murat in the ring where they were talking with the announcers, I noticed that Murat is really a calm dude. You know what I'm saying? He laughs. You know, he smiles. You know, but when he gets in the ring, he doesn't look like that. He like his intentions are to do his job and hurt you. Now, I will say this about Olesksandr. When they was in the ring face to face, it looked like to me he was intimidated. And if you don't agree with me, you know, go back and look at the face-off of them while they both was in the ring after Murat's fight. You know, Olesksandr having a black t-shirt, black cap. Look at his face expression. It was like he was trying to make himself appear to be hardcore, or, you know what I'm saying, he had a frown on his face where Murat was just sitting there smiling. I was like, that looked like a little bit of form of intimidation to me, because why are you looking like y'all at a face-off, y'all get in the ring and the bell in the ring for the first round? Because this is how he was looking. And he could have been trying to intimidate Murat, but to me, it looked like Murat already intimidated him. And I think that's probably what it is, since Murat, you know what I'm saying, has so many victories over him, you know, more than him. And shit, he got more knockouts than he got wins. And I don't know if I already said this already, but Abel Sanchez is Murat's. I think, yeah, I did say that. So, you know, this guy is getting trained well. And you can tell from the way he fights, you know, he gets trained well. You know, but like I said, Olesksandr has to go in there and attack Murat. If he don't do that, if he sit there and try to box with him, eventually I think that Murat gonna come in and break him down. And Murat has a good chin too. You know, he done took shots from people, you know what I'm saying? He gets hit as well. Like I said, his offense is his defense. With Olesksandr, you know, he goes in the high guard, you know, which leaves his body open, good chance for Murat to throw those body punches with them hooks that he loves to throw. Like I said, he dropped the guy that he got the IBF belt from with a body shot. So I think that might be bad for Olesksandr on defense. I think he shouldn't be in that high guard. Well, he should be in the high guard to defend himself, but if anything, he should try to move away from Murat's offense if he throwing to that body like that. Because if he going there with that high guard, leaving that body up, and the way this guy throw to the body, you know, that might hurt him. And when I see Murat hurt somebody, he really goes in and finishes somebody. So, you know, and like Murat is also 6'3" in height too, and his reach is 76 and a half. Olesksandr's is 78. So Olesksandr has the longest reach, you know, which is good for him, because Olesksandr really stands back and fights his opponent. He boxes him. You know, he comes in every now and then with a slick counter or something, but I think that would be mostly his advantage in this fight, is the fact that that reach is a little bit longer, and that he's a southpaw. And, you know, like I said about Murat, I'd never seen him really fight a southpaw. That reach gon', you know, fuck him up a little bit, because he might think he a little bit farther than what he is. He might throw that left and catch Murat. But it's like I said, in this fight, though, it's so hard to make a decision, because both of these guys are powerful. Both of them are good fighters. I think that Olesksandr's a little more slicker than Murat. You know, he's slicker, especially in defense, Olesksandr. You know, I've seen him do, to me, not to say it like this, he fights like a slick black fighter a little bit to me. You know, he's a hard puncher as well, especially like I said with that straight left is very powerful. And plus with this also, that right hook will really play into this fight against Murat. Especially when Murat is, you know, they standing up and Murat coming in, he might not be expecting, he'll probably just be expecting a jab in the left, and Murat probably be throwing that hook to the body. Now, by him throwing that, he'll set him up for the left. You see what I'm saying? So I think that may be a big problem too, along with that reach. So it's really hard to say, because I want to go with Olesksandr, Usyk. But then from the way I seen him in that face-off, and he looked intimidated, to me, I really want to go with Murat. And that's the hard part about this, is me making a decision on this fight. I really don't want to make one right now, because my last fight I was wrong. But I'm not biased against any of these fighters. You know, this is my first time really looking them up. That's why I have my notes on them. So I will say the more advantages go towards Olesksandr. And I won't say that Olesksandr will knock out Murat. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna go with Olesksandr Usyk for a 12-round decision against Murat Gassiev. And that's only because Gassiev is more patient. Murat is more patient. You know, he's not a really come forward. He comes forward, but he doesn't come forward throwing a lot of punches. Like I said, he don't gas himself out by trying to hit you a lot of times in the first round, nothing like that. He really is a destroyer. He really comes in and throws punches at certain angles and certain ways to see if he could hurt you. And when he hurts you, he knows it. You know, so this is gonna be a real good fight. You know, I don't know if this is gonna be on, you know, overseas TV or if they're gonna have it on HBO or something like that, which they need to have it on HBO. Which I think the guy from who used to mess with Oscar De La Hoya, Richard Schaefer, started this tournament. So it might be on a Showtime event or HBO. It should be, you know what I'm saying? But if I was going to say if you was going to put your money on this fight, I would have to say that you should go with Olesksandr Usyk. And that's only out of the advantages and the skills that I see coming from him. Now, because on my list, I see more good things coming from Olesksandr than I have for Murat. And both of them are good fighters, but like I said, I just got more on this side for Olesksandr and less over here. And you know that's like the pros and cons. You know, you could do that in any way of life. And I just see him, like I said, he has fought fighters with more experience, you know, more wins than losses. Olesksandr has. He has fought more fighters with more wins than losses. Now, when we go back to Murat, like I said, he only had one fighter that was really undefeated. Most of the guys, I seen him fight like a short, old guy. This guy looked like he was like 54 or something, and half his size. He beat him, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you had to go with the experience too, you know, by the more rounds and, you know, things like that. But both of these guys are KO artists. They both knock their opponents out. Their KO ratios are high. You know, they have mostly the same amount of knockouts as they do fights. So, like I said, man, I'm really going to have to go with Olesksandr Usyk. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'm going with, y'all. I hope y'all like it. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all, you know what I'm saying? If you disagree, you know what I'm saying? Just comment, leave your comment. But from what I'm seeing, I got to go with Olesksandr. I want to go with Murat because of the intimidation factor that I saw in that ring. Because he was smiling. You know, he was like, congratulations on your win. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to me and you fight. And he's smiling. Olesksandr over there, he mean mugging. And I'm like, why are you doing that? You know, y'all ain't fighting yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, why have you put on this impression like you want to knock his head off right now? And, you know, to me, you know what I'm saying, I'm a tall dude, and, you know, other short man complex, you know, that's a form of intimidation. You know, tall guys, I see a lot of dudes, you know, I walk past sometimes, the first thing they go to doing is rapping gangster music or talking about shooting somebody or something. I already know what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not that type of guy just because I used to be short and fat. I'm not that type of guy that just, you know what I'm saying, because of my height, I think I could whoop everybody's ass. That's not me. But I see it a lot, you know what I'm saying? I know it's a form of intimidation. But I'm going to have to go with Olesksandr Usyk, man. I think he's going to be crowned the Cruiserweight king. I think he's going to walk away with all 4 belts. And, you know, I'm wondering I think Anthony Yarde, this is somebody I got to look up on. Anthony Yarde is a beast, man. And I wonder if one of these guys is going to give him a shot at them titles. You know what I'm saying? If either one on win. You know, I don't know where Anthony Yarde is right now. I don't know where he at ranked, or is he up on that list to even fight these guys. But I'd love to see one of these guys fight Anthony Yarde. You know, and I'm telling y'all, Anthony Yarde, he brutal, man. This dude is big with skills, you know what I'm saying, fast. You know, this motherfucker, he's a beast, man. I'm telling you. But if y'all like my videos, and y'all know I mostly be right on my predictions and stuff like that, man, I pick for y'all to put your money on Olesksandr Usyk. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'm going with. That's who I'm going down with. You know what I'm saying? But this Easy Work Boxing. Thank you for your time. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, please subscribe. You watch my videos. You know, ain't nothing to hit the subscribe button. Help a player out. You know, and I'm gonna be trying to get y'all more and more videos. You know, I just be working now a lot, and you know, just be patient with me, and I'm gonna keep putting them up there for y'all. I appreciate y'all time, man. Y'all take care of you and yours, and be safe. I'm out.